Hello writers, come write with me. My name is Mykela Greenwood. I create worlds for mind adventures. Welcome to my channel, Write with Mykela. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you can go on this journey with me. Before we get started, a couple of Tuesdays ago we were talking about where ideas came from, and I told you that I had a journal, and I showed you one of the journals and it looked just like this. But I'm announcing to you that I found the one that has the story in it, so I can go and I can start typing it, and you can see how small some of that writing is. So I had to get some eyeglasses, special eyeglasses, to some readers or something to be able to see it, to read it. But I found it. So if I ever decide to pick that up, I have that choice. Now, today is Tuesday, and today we're going to pull out your scary cave. I hope you haven't lost it like I lost this journal. And we are going to add to our stories. I want us to explore a little more this time, and near the end, we can switch scenes and check on the people looking for our characters or missing our characters. Or you can do that next time. You can just explore this time and then check in on those other characters next time, however you decide to do it. But we're adding to your cave stories. Now, if your character got out of the cave, that doesn't mean you had to go send them back in the cave to go explore the cave a little more, you know. If you got out, if your character got out of the cave, then you can explore the surrounding land, assuming, of course, that you didn't exit where you entered, and maybe you found the exit, but now you're like, oh, okay, maybe I should explore more before I put in. So you're kind of dividing your story and sticking today's writing in the middle. That's okay too. It's whatever you decide. You're the writer, you're the creator. So you just have fun with it. In my story, my character is hopefully learning about the enemy's activities, or perhaps learning of another danger, or even something far more dangerous. We don't know yet what this, what that beast is in the cave, or what that is yet. It's just unknown to us. Now, the plot that I have so far for my story is: 1, a resistance group makes plans to scout out the enemy's fortress or stronghold. 2, something goes wrong or astray during the scouting expedition, and one or more characters escape, but stumble into or fall into a frightening cave. The one or more characters try to get his or her or their bearings and explore the cave. 4, cut back to the rest of the resistance and the people missing the person or people in the cave. And then 5 in the story, return to the cave scene or the exit if you found one, and continue exploring. Now today we are continuing with number 5, and we're going to continue exploring either your cave or your characters. You could do character development. At this point, you may want to expand on character development, or the special abilities or talents of your character. So if you don't want to find anything else in the cave, you can just you can build that character. Does your character have more allies or enemies in the cave? Now you can bring in more characters, or you can do character development, or you can find stuff in the cave, or all of it, just have fun. In my story, I had the possibility of mythical beings. So, are the beings children, or are they gnomes? In that case, if they're gnomes, the story turned to a more fantastical story. So it's not just like everyday life now that, we have protagonists, antagonists, and stuff like that. Now we've got more fantasy, a fantastical story. So we can bring in more magic and stuff when you do that. I can't wait to read what you or your characters are finding in your caves or the land beyond, or their abilities within themselves. The writing assignment is simple. Just add to your cave writings. Or, split it up and stick something in. We're adding to it. It doesn't have to be adding to the bottom. It could add in the middle or what have you. You can follow my plot that I have so far, or you can follow your own that you've developed as we've written together. Just pause the video and write a page or a paragraph or a couple of scenes. Then come back and I will read what I wrote. Welcome back, writers. Now I will read what I wrote. Oh, before I start, I've told you about the control, find, replace. So I had Zalira spelled as Zalara instead of Zalira. So I had Z-A-L-I-R-A and Z-O-L-I-R-A. So I was just like, which one do I want? So I chose the Z-O, Zalira. So that's how I want the name to go in the story. So if you find that you've spelt it a couple different ways, then just pick one. That's not really an error. It's an opportunity to see which spelling you like the best and which pronunciation you like the best. And everything is changeable. It's not like you have to rewrite the whole page. Like when the Four Little Women or whatever, I think she was actually handwriting that stuff, the ink and dipping the pen, writing the stuff. So when she had to redo something, she had to rewrite a whole page. We don't have to do that anymore. Just control, find, replace. It's very easy. Okay, now I will read what I wrote. Zalira had been very stressed since leaving the underground camp to go on her mission, and the tension only increased as the day went on. So, even though Zalira wanted to sleep with one eye open, she soon fell sound asleep. Knowing that the electric shield protected her from the creature helped her to relax enough. Then, in the middle of the night, Zalira rolled from her side to her back, and she saw a figure standing over her. Light radiated from the figure and illuminated it, and the figure seemed to be floating in the air. The sight startled Zalira, and she sat up quickly. The figure held up her hands, and Zalira received these thoughts. Do not be alarmed. Zalira looked around the chamber and did not see the children or gnomes, and she almost thought she had dreamed everything. She looked back at the figure. Zalira, please focus. I haven't much time. My name is Caswaldish. I'm one of your guides. The children are gnomes, as you suspected, but they don't intend to harm you just yet. Zalira wanted to ask questions like, not yet, or how will I know? But the figure held up her hands again. They are returning, so I must leave soon. The balance is off. And that's why the elders have allowed me to speak to you without you first requesting me to appear. I will keep in touch. You must practice the old ways that you've studied, and you must believe in your abilities. Then Caswaldish faded from view. Zalira heard a sound like the children were returning, so she quickly lay down and pretended to be sleeping. The children entered quietly, and Zalira heard the shield go back up, and the electricity made a sound like a buzzing sound. Then the children crept back to where they had been sleeping. Zalira had read a lot about the old ways, and she had practiced things. Sometimes she felt she had results, and other times she didn't. One thing was to send energy to people. and she certainly could feel the vibrations in her hands when she tried. But no one ever confirmed for her that they received the energy. There were other things, but sending energy was one of the basics. Zolera thought, who would she send to? Then she thought that she wanted to let the team know that she was alive. So perhaps she could send to one of the other volunteers. She didn't think about Commander Thurnall for several reasons. One, would he believe? Two, he had planned the missions, so she wasn't totally sure she could trust him. Her mind went off on a tangent, and she thought of all the power Maldrake had gained, and how quickly he had gained it. So the thought of having an informant among them was highly likely. Then her mind drifted back to her current assignment. One of the higher level items was actually sending your whole spirit out of your body to explore your surroundings or to visit a friend or loved one. Sometimes people did that because the person they visited was sick, but right now Zolera needed to explore the cave and find a way out. Of course, there were things that were even higher than that, but some of it was totally unbelievable to Zolera. Zolera sighed to herself. First things first, she thought to herself. You crawl before you walk. Let me send energy to someone tonight, and I can explore tomorrow night. That's assuming I last another day. Zolera slowed her breathing and held her hand out beside her as she opened her hand so the palm faced up. Very soon she felt the vibrations, and she thought of whom she wanted to send them to. The other 3 volunteers were Brambert, Cleric, and Missant. Zolera thought since Missant was also a female, it might be easier to connect with her, since they weren't family or close friends like usually you connected with. So she focused her thoughts on Missant. Along with the energy, she sent the thoughts, I'm out. I fell in a cave and I'm okay right now. I will explore the cave and let you know when I find an exit. Do not come yet. There's a massive beast where I fell in the cave, and there are gnomes in here who don't mean me harm yet. Zolera thought through the thoughts several more times as she felt the vibrations in her hands grow and wane. She didn't know if distance was a factor or not, but she knew the vibrations grew with the thoughts. So she just thought them again and again, until she thought through the whole set at least 3 times. Missant sat up in her cot and put her head in her hands. Several other females in the room looked over, but they didn't speak yet. They would wait for Missant to look up. Missant felt a message vibrate within herself, but the message was so strange that she wanted to dismiss it. After the message stopped, Missant looked up and around the room that had several dimly lit lights. Missant shook her head to herself. I'm sorry to wake you. I think I was dreaming or something. I guess Zolera's vanishing has spooked me more than I thought. Maybe not, stated Kilry. Tell us about it. Missant knew she couldn't go back to sleep right away. So she told them about the thoughts, and there were several different speculations. Finally, the girls thought to get Missant to write things down. And perhaps, as time went on, they could figure it out. Okay, writers, I'm going to leave it there today. When we pull it out again, I can start in the morning, like after Zolera wakes up. I'm enjoying writing on this story. I have so many possibilities. Some of you may realize that I just opened up a lot of possibilities with the guide appearing to Zolera and encouraging her to believe and practice the old ways. Of course, you maybe wonder, what's the old ways? What's anything that I want the old ways to be? Anything. So you don't have to have it to be the old ways in your story. It could be New Age, stuff that they're studying. So the old ways, it can make it anything. And then it can be anything. It can be telepathy. It can be astral projection. It can be where you can bend the forks with your mind or whatever. Anything out there, or anything that you can imagine and describe. Because remember, we have to make our reader be able to see this. So I have her to practice the old ways. It means there's a history there. There's written information. People could just oh yeah, they just thought all this crazy stuff and not believe it. But the guide appeared to Zalira and told her that it's real. Practice it. Do it. So you don't know what all there is in the old ways, but I gave a little hint. First of the vibrations and the sending the energy and stuff like that. So that was part of it. And so we'll have to see how much more I get into that. But I have lots of possibilities now that I've introduced that into the story. And that Missant did receive the energy. Now we don't know that she received the thoughts clearly. We know the thoughts that Zalira sent. And we know Missant received something. But we don't know if she received the whole stream of thoughts, if she received it in a fluid, continuous way. So that will have to come later to see what exactly she recalls, what she writes down in her journal as what she received. So there's that. But we know that the energy and the thoughts went from one to the other. So that's starting some ESP stuff and some phenomenon and some fun stuff to play with. Just have fun with it, it's anything you want it to be. And like I said, it could be old ways in my story and new ways in your stories. It doesn't matter. Maybe you're exploring to be a metahuman instead of just a regular human, up our next level of and the word is escaping me. Evolution. Yeah. Our next level of evolution. Maybe in your story, we've come from where we are. We gain consciousness. We know who we are. And the next level of evolution is all this extrasensory perception and this nice phenomenon, astral projection and stuff like that. So it's up to you where you want to put it, or if you want to just leave it out. You don't have to have it. You don't have to have a fantastical story. You can just have a fiction. That's fine. Just so long as you're having fun. And I'm having fun. I love to play with this stuff. Just kind of broadens things and pushes the envelope, and it's fun to play with. Leave a comment below on if you were missing. Okay, now this is the other part. If you were missing and you received the message, would you think that you were dreaming? Have you ever received a message like that before, either while sleeping or while awake? Or have you heard of anybody who's done that? I've received messages before, albeit not that elaborate. Usually it's just a short phrase. But if I received anything about gnomes, I would automatically think I had dreamed things. In my life, I might receive the first sentence, I'm out. And I would know Zalira was out of the compound and alive. But that's usually it for me. I don't receive a whole big long sentence. And for sure, I don't tell too many people about such things. But it's fun to write about. Leave a comment below on if you receive messages or not. And if you did or do, would you tell anybody? Join me Friday for Chapter 1 of Eleni's Pride, Breaking Point. Chapter 1 is titled Escape. So Breaking Point is the subtitle of the book. Eleni's Pride is the whole story, all 3 books. Breaking Point is book 1. And then Chapter 1 is Escape. Join me Tuesday for some more jargon or another writing prompt. And keep your cave writing prompt. We will continue to add to it. My story is now a little over 6,000 words. which isn't very much. If you're looking to get between 80,000 and 120,000, or if you did the NaNoWriMo challenge and you were trying to get 50,000, 6,000 is not really that much, but it's a nice start. If you would like to share your cave writings with me, then send them with WritewithMykela@gmail.com. I will enjoy reading your writings. Don't forget to visit my website, bymykela.com, and read some character bios. If you hit the like and subscribe and the bell notification, then we will continue to write together. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate your participation. If you know someone who would like this video, then please share it with them. This is Mykela with Write with Mykela. Bye for now.